Everyone thinks there's a right way to start pouring silver and sand casting. The truth? Most people overcomplicate it. They waste money and get discouraged before they ever feel the rush of that first perfect pour. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to start learning the right way without needing fancy gear, a huge budget, or years of trial and error. When I first started, I must have ruined hundreds of moulds. I'd seen videos online that made it look easy, but no one really explained it. No one really told you why the sand collapsed. They never went into detail. They never showed how to prep a flask properly. But 2 years later, and over 1,000 pours in, I've learned pretty much every mistake the hard way, so you don't have to. I'm Matt from Silverpunk, and this is the process I wish I'd known when I first started pouring. Before you touch any molten metal, you've got to get this part right. You're just not melting silver, you're shaping something permanent. So safety gear's got to come first. In an ideal world, you want a full face screen, some goggles, some natural fibre clothing, a good pair of leather gloves, like some good welder's gloves, some proper ventilation. And your mindset, you've really got to be careful and in control of what you're doing. Don't panic, just take your time and everything could be fine. You need to treat each pour as a test. Don't go for a masterpiece, because when you take the pressure off, you'll actually learn a lot faster, because you're not chasing perfection, you're trying to build up control. Sandcasting is about control and consistency, the two C's. If you can master how the sand behaves, then everything else becomes a bit more predictable. I kind of think of it as almost like sculpting in negative space. Your 3D prints, or whatever object you're using to push into the sand, is only half the story. It's how you actually pack the sand around it that decides everything. Now you've got to use the finer grade Petrobond sand as you can. And all what that is, it just means it's got sand which is oil bonded, which has got some oil in, and that means it just sticks together when you hold it together. If the sand's too coarse, you'll lose a bit of detail. If it's too dry, the mould will crumble. If it's a bit too oily, it just burns too much and you won't get good detail. So there's lots of things to look out for. Your casting sand is from what you live and die from, basically. And it's all the balance. With this art, it's balance. Before every pour, you got to check how compacted it is. If you can press your thumb into it and it holds shape and it doesn't crack, that's the sweet spot when it comes to sand. Don't start with complex designs. If I'm honest, most people who I speak to want to pour like mad dragons or skulls or something really, really cool on day one. But if I'm honest, the right way to start is just with a simple shape or something that teaches you the fundamentals. You need to know, you have to dig your foundations, just something to fill up, flow and release. Perhaps just like a little circular round, or, something really easy, a small relief plaque with not too much detail. Just use a little 3D printed thing or anything really that's simple. Just give them a good dusting with some talc or corn flour or whatever you're using. And then just pop them in the open flask and then just cover evenly with sand. Don't hammer it too hard. Just think pressure, not power. And, just see how it goes. Molten silver, it likes things to be nice and smooth, and it doesn't like sharp turns when you're pouring it in. So your sprue hole's got to be nice and straight and, wide enough for air to escape. So just keep it simple for your first go. Keep it simple so you can get a win under your belt. Now you come onto the pour. Now this is where I'm guessing people are going to panic, because I know I did. Silver is pretty unforgiving. You've got to get it to the right temperature, because if it's not heated up enough, it'll pretty much solidify halfway through the mid-flow, so you won't get it completely, the mould won't fill up completely. If it's too hot, you'll get a messy pour. So you need to pick your temperature right. And it's just mesmerising. You just watch that mirror surface if you're doing an open pour. And then when the silver kind of goes from a dull liquid into like a glassy finish, that's your window. You know, when you're looking at it, but you're looking at it and it's like a dull. It's really hard to explain until you do it yourself. But when it's melting, you'll see what I mean. It's like a dull finish, and then it'll go glassy, and that's your pour window. But whatever you do, don't swirl the crucible. Just pour it in one confident motion. It's all about confidence and the steady hand. Yes, you've got to do it quick, but it's got to be controlled. I mean, and your first pours, yeah, they'll be ugly. You'll spill some, and then that's normal. But you just got to be safe. But what you got to realise that every imperfect bar or pour teaches you more about muscle memory, flow control, timing, judging the heat, and these are skills that no textbook can teach. You've got to do them yourself. You've got to put the reps in, and you need someone to talk you through it sometimes. Now, I am in the process of putting together some sort of pouring course, a one-to-one or something. I'm just working it on at the moment. If that is something you're interested in, I have got a link in the description. If you click that, it'll take you to a little form to fill out and just pops you on a waiting list. So if you do want some more details, that's the best thing to do. So once you've poured it in, there's no rush now. Just take your time, let the silver cool and solidify until like the red glow fades, and then you can get it in the quench. And this is where you're either going to celebrate or you're going to be a bit disappointed. But look, even if it failed, that's still good, because every mistake will leave a fingerprint of what went wrong. Have a look at the sand and the pour itself. You know, did all the mould fill up? Did it all fill up? If it didn't, was it a short fill up? And if so, it could be that the temperature wasn't right, the sprue size wasn't right, or that the mould wasn't tightly packed together enough. Was there holes and bubbles in the actual silver? That means it could have been too hot, it weren't vented correctly. So there's lots of different things you can have a look at to work out what the mistake was. So each flaw, it's good feedback. And this is the right way to learn in my book, is to pour small, study, adjust and repeat, and ask for advice. It's not about perfection straight off the bat. It's about mastery of the art through going over it time and time again, learning as you go. So for me, that's pretty much it. That's the right way to start. You just got to do it safely, simply, and with purpose. And of course, like I mentioned a bit earlier, you don't have to do this alone. I have got a link in the description below if you do want to sign up for a waitlist. Thanks, guys. And just remember, the only real mistake is never melting your first ounce. So get to it.